Why do Filipinos use po? This single syllable is unique to the Filipino language. It reflects the Filipinos' polite and respectful culture. Hi, I'm Christine, and I've been teaching the Filipino language to foreigners for more than 10 years now. Welcome to my channel, Learn to Speak Filipino for Tourists and Expats. Today, we'll learn about the expression po and practice our previous lessons with this polite and respectful expression. First, let's pronounce po. Po. This single syllable has the short vowel sound of O, and the accent, if you want to say stress, is on this vowel sound O. So you say po. There should be a friction on your throat when you pronounce the word po. Filipinos use po as an honorific for elders, parents, bosses, superiors, in the workplace, in the institution, organization, in school, and even with strangers. Po is a nuance of the Filipino language that when you add to any expression, be it a greeting, question, or response, changes the entire tone and context of that particular expression. Po makes the expression polite, courteous, and respectful. To make things clearer, let us recall our previous lessons, like the greetings, and then we add po. So do you remember how to say good morning or good afternoon? So we say the greetings, magandang umaga for good morning, magandang hapon for good afternoon, and magandang gabi for good evening. All these greetings are for your friends, your colleagues, your people of the same age, of the same level. So when we add the po, your good morning, good magandang umaga po, or your good afternoon, magandang hapon po, or your good evening, magandang gabi po. All these greetings with the po will then be used with people who are older than you, maybe the parent of your friend or the parent of your colleague, an uncle, an aunt, or it could also be appropriately used with your superior, your manager, or any person of higher position or person of authority in an institution or your workplace. Now let's move on to using po when introducing ourselves. So when you are faced with your supervisors, your bosses, or when you visit your friend's family, maybe your girlfriend or boyfriend's family, there are a lot of older people in the group and you introduce yourself. Okay? So what do we do? Before, in the previous lessons, we said, ako si Christine. I am Christine. Okay? So this time, what you will do is, you will say, if I'm the one, for example, introducing myself, then I will say, ako po si Christine. So you remember that lesson, right? So you can say, ako po, and then si, then you provide your name. Okay, so ako po si Christine. Then you want to say where you come from or your home country. So you can say, or you remember the expression taga that is placed before the name of a place? Okay, so you say, taga Philippines po ako. Well, I'm from the Philippines, sir or ma'am. That's what I said. So addressing the older people in the group, whether it's in the meeting, in the workplace, or being with the relatives of your friends. Then you say, taga, for example, France, you're from France, taga France po ako. Right. Now, practicing that, I can say, ako po si Christine, taga Philippines po ako. Okay, so all you have to do is just substitute your details and then put po after that particular detail. So you say, ako po si Christine, or you say, taga Philippines po ako. Right, so let's move on now. How about using po with English. You know, Filipinos also say yes po. Or when we answer the phone, we also say hello and then we add po. So how about you? When you would like to practice Filipino, learning to speak Filipino and practicing it with Filipinos. So what do? Let's practice with po. So when you say, for example, they ask you, what is your name? You can say your name. So for example, I'm the one asked, what is my name? So what's your name? I can say Christine and then add po. Christine po. Or you can always say, ako po si Christine. So, when they ask you where you're from, even in English, of course, they would hesitate to ask you in Filipino. So even if they ask you in English, they ask you, where are you from? For example, you're from France, then you can say, France po. Or you can say, the longer version that we have studied in the previous lesson, taga France po ako. So we're shortcutting this, and I'm giving you the license to answer in English. However, that's the way to practice, by adding po. So now, if with the polite expressions in English, excuse me, for example, or thank you, you can just say, excuse me, and then add po, excuse me po. Or you can say thank you, and then you add po, thank you po. Right? So when I say excuse me po or thank you po, just to remember the context, it's like saying excuse me sir. So excuse me po is excuse me sir or excuse me ma'am. Or when you say thank you po, it's like saying thank you sir or thank you ma'am. All right, so practice using po with those expressions. However, you will definitely learn those polite expressions in Filipino in the succeeding videos.